been busy polishing up parts. I'm waiting on the longitudinal feed nut for the yoke assembly here. The column base is coming along nicely. I just temporarily set the jack post on there. I've got this bracket I made up here out of some unistrut and actually an engine lifting plate, so I can lift the column. I've got it on a cart here and a couple 2x4s. I want to get it off of that and onto its feet before attempting to put the knee on. And I made a nice little shelf for storage inside the column. And I think I took a few stills of this little carriage wheel assembly. This came with the mill. It was really filthy and I had to clean it up, gave it a little paint job, and I re-drilled the axle location here to drop it down a little bit, get it closer to the ground. That way it'll match this skate, which goes under the front. Okay, so over here, the knee is basically ready to go. Paint's finally dry. I got to pull the masking off, put in the jack screw bearing, the locking mechanism for the gib, and should get that on today, hopefully. Here's the lead screws all cleaned up. Still got to degrease the table and the saddle and of course the ram. So hopefully I'll get everything degreased today and start thinking about getting them painted. The column door is ready to paint. These guys need a little bit of polishing, but they're basically ready. Way back under there is the turret, so that's got to be degreased and cleaned and prepped for paint as well. All right, continue on here. Got it down on the ground. Got a machinery skate in the front and our custom little track carriage in the back. Show you how easy this is to roll. In fact, I have to keep a little piece of wood there to keep it from moving. But basically, I'm just pushing it with my thumb. And to change directions, all I got to do is kick that skate a little bit to one side or the other. But, yeah, and that works really good. Of course, I don't have the full weight on it right now, but I've used this before and it was essentially almost as easy to move. So anyways, it's an idea for you if you're looking for a way to move a Bridgeport. Okay, here's an update on the Bridgeport. So, got the saddle back on, the wipers, feed nut. I put a new feed nut for the cross feed table. Expensive, but what the heck. It's probably never happen if I don't do it now. So anyways, we're looking good here. I think I'm going to hold off on putting the table on until I get the turret and the ram back on, just to have a little more room. And I left the handles off. I don't want those in the way while I'm working on it. The table, I've still got to clean up the table. It's just want to do a little polishing on it, run a stone over the top, and just a little more cleanup. I've already done a good general cleaning on it. Underside, of course, I think you already saw that. It's all painted, ready to go. Okay. I've got the drive motor all cleaned up and repainted, rebuilt. I really wanted to film the process, change the bearings, and basically just gave it a good cleaning and inspection. But the neighbor came over and got a little carried away and didn't get a chance to film anything. But anyways, here's a look at it. I inspected the drum switch. It's in great shape, and the wiring was nicely done. I intended on disconnecting the switch for the repair and the repaint, but it was so well done, I just left everything alone. I elected not to repaint the drum switch. I kind of like the wear marks and so forth on it. It kind of gives it a little character. So all I did was just a little bit of cleanup on it, polished it up a little bit. All right, so the motor itself, it was actually in great shape. And oh, by the way, here's how I got it hanging. I was trying to figure out how I was going to hold this thing and be able to paint it. So nice to have a shop crane. All right, so the bearings were actually in pretty good shape. It would have been fine just to leave them, but figure, well, I'm this far into it. I already purchased bearings, so let's just go ahead and put the new bearings in and start out with everything fresh. This motor is a single phase. It's been the mill's been converted. The original motor's missing. I asked the previous owner if they had the original motor. We searched everywhere around their shop and so forth and could not find it. So I'm suspecting that this might have already been changed before he had purchased it. But I would actually prefer the three-phase motor. That way I could put a VFD on it. But anyways, here's the bearings. So we can get it to focus here. Sorry about that. But, the original bearings are metal shielded, both sides, and the drive end, large end, little bit of roughness when you put load on it. When you're checking a bearing, you've got to put some load on it. If you just spin it freely, it's going to feel fine. Put a little bit of load on it, you can feel just a little bit of roughness. So, I mean, but perfectly tolerable. The opposite end, small bearing, I mean, it looked worse, a little more dirt on it and so forth, but it actually felt fine. But the new bearings, I've got the these Nashi. These are Japanese bearings. They're very good quality bearings. I've used these many times in the past and I've had good luck with them. But I got rubber seals. Done a lot of motors over the years, you know, in the industry I work in, and we've found that the most reliable thing on electric motors, put in rubber sealed bearings. Never touch them. Just put them in the way they come out of the box. Don't try to add grease. Don't grease them when they're in service. Just leave them alone. The manufacturers have done a pretty good job of figuring out what type of grease to use and how much to put in, and you're better off just letting them stay the way they come from the manufacturer. The paint is good old Rust-Oleum. If you're interested in the color, it's the sage green gloss. There's the, sorry about the crummy focusing here, but anyways, it's the sage green, and I'm pretty happy with this 2X. When I first started using it, I didn't like it. It is fussy on, if you're going to use primer, even though it says it's got primer in it, it's fussy on what type of primer you use with it, and it actually works better without primer. So that's what we did here, and it looks great. So anyways, motor's ready to go. Feels really good. It was a lot of dirt inside, not too many chips. I did get a few out of there, but yeah, just gave it a good cleaning. And this is, oh, by the way, I mentioned it is a single phase motor, so you have to be careful, and we'll probably do another separate video on rebuilding motors. I got a few more to do. But most single phase motors have a centrifugal switch in the end, so you have to be careful on disassembling and also while you're replacing the bearings. Those switches are delicate, and if you do any tapping on the housing or on the shaft, the plastic and Bakelite parts can shatter on you. I've had that happen, so you got to be real careful. So anyways, we're getting ready to put this guy on. Swing around here, sorry for the long video on that, but here's the rest of the headstock parts. There's the adapter plate that somebody had previously made to adapt that single phase motor. I had to do some deburring. I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. There's some extra holes, one there, a couple up there. I might just put in some silicone caulking or something. I was going to thread them and put some set screws, and running out of ambition there. I cut it up on some just some bolts so I could paint it. And then here's the step pulley. It was completely black, really filthy, but it cleaned up pretty good, and it's in good shape. And then you've seen these before. There's the back gear assembly and the belt drive housing. So they're ready to go. I haven't brought the headstock back out here yet, but it's in the house, way in the back bedroom, and we're getting close to Christmas time here, and there's a lot of obstacles in the house. I've got to move a few things, and so I can bring the hand truck in, because I don't want to carry that headstock out. It's too heavy. Yeah, so all right, so anyways, we're going to start putting this together here. I'll take a few stills also. All right, got the drum switch mounted back on here. You guys might have already noticed, but whoever did this original mod did a really nice job of modifying or sculpting the original base plate for this motor to fit the drum switch. And I'd say it looks really nice, and it's one of those little details, nice little touch that just finishes it off. Of course, this is upside down, but and this is the side that would face the operator. I thought this was worth showing. I just bolted or screwed a couple blocks of wood together to hold the spindle head assembly here. The weight is being held by the actual spindle nose sitting on that block, and then I just bolted through around the back here with just some all thread, and this makes it easy to store the head in upright position and to move it around on the hand truck. Yeah, just a quick, simple thing you can do. Would have been nice if I had a little longer piece of 2x6 to catch the next cross brace on the hand truck. Would have been a little easier to wheel it around, but heck, for what I had to do, that worked just fine.